Did you rewind them?
Probably not. Hey, would you get your head out of that guy's crotch on the TV?
Ah.
Yeah, it's a great picture. Feet, head.
Kiss him, Scott. Oh, look at Will Army now.
So what's up with this lost thing?
They're lost.
It's stupid. It's all stupid.
Is there, are they dead?
On here, on this, oh shit, this isn't it. We have the one of the guy taking off.
Oh yeah, the cruise is all over the place.
Oh, perfect takeoff, or what do you call it? Emergency.
We were a little bit worried about helping you.
You bastards. We could have got money, free money.
Free money!
Okay. Now you're going to film me while I'm looking at it, like this?
Yeah.
Do you want stuff cleared off the TV?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just... Fortunately, right now, Iris is adjusting to the TV.
All right. Don't you batteries go bad? That should be good like that.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, wait, not yet. Okay, let me hit rewind. That is so funny. And stop. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let me think about what I'm going to say.
Don't think too much. It'll get sucky if you go.
Okay, here we go. Well, it's time to start the crash videos that we've talked about. Now remember, we started these with not the intention of making anybody embarrassed, showing our faults and problems. I'm starting over. Let me think what I said before. I said before, okay, all right, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to start a new segment here, and this segment, it's not to embarrass anybody, it's not to show some things that we do wrong, but it's so that all of us can learn, and we learn from each other's mistakes, and I've had my share, so I get to go first here on this segment, and let me begin by just saying this. The guy that doesn't learn from somebody's mistake, he's the fool. The guy that learns from somebody else's mistake, he's the smart guy. So we're going to want you all to be smart guys. So let's turn and watch this as we get ready. This was shot on the beach, and as you can see, the plane is in shape. And if you notice, I've got the chute laid out in a inverted. Fuck.
Okay. That's okay.
I couldn't get it to go.
That's all right.
I finally went. Now, I can see it in your camera, so I can actually, God damn it. Okay, where do you want me to start? Just start it over?
Started.
I'll start it over.
Shoot out. Just start that part over. You don't need to do the first part again.
That'll be a bad cut, won't it?
Actually, nope. Just start it there, and when it starts, then start explaining. And I want you more up there. You're getting too close to me.
Okay.
Go that way just a little bit, and stop.
Right there?
Actually, no. Step back. A step that way. Let me see where this iris changes color. There it goes. Right there. Okay. That is right where I want you. And go ahead and start it, and I'll pull back to you. Okay.
All right. Now you're going to notice that the chute is actually in an inverted layout. You can also notice that the wind is blowing quite a bit here. The winds were actually at 26 miles an hour. The chute comes, and Houston, we have a problem. Now, it would be great if that was the end of it, but we actually rolled over. This is going to be an ongoing sequence. It's just showing over and over and over all the fun stuff that we're doing. But we did about, 6 or 7 rollovers and ups and downs. And what we were trying to find out was if we could take off in a 25-mile-an-hour wind. Well, we found out without some special tooling, without a lot more power, we weren't able to accomplish this. So, in retrospect, we learned what we were setting out to do. It's just we kind of learned the hard way. If you notice, there's a couple things we did wrong. Number one, we weren't wearing helmets. That was really stupid on our parts. So we lived and learned, and every time we try something experimental in nature, we wear helmets. And I'd encourage everybody to wear some type of head protection. It just makes sense. And number two, we learned that in high wind situations, we do this for fun. And here we were trying to do it for a business opportunity for the military and also for flying off of beaches where it does blow quite a bit. And we found out, well, maybe some of those goals cannot be achieved with this type of aircraft. So we did find out. Now let's move on to the next segment here, the next crash video. Let me key up my tape here, and I think we're going to actually talk about a rollover and some of the preparation for a rollover and some of the things that the student did that he shouldn't have been doing. So let me turn that on. Pause. Okay. Do you want it on it?
Yeah, I'll be on it because of where we're coming out of you. So go ahead and just start it, but you need to move back over to your spot.
Hey, we're,
Right. Right. Yeah, that was it.
I was a little closer last time. Do you want me a little closer?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I gotta get down here. Okay. Now, as you can see, we're on to the next event here. This particular individual is starting this with a grand total of about 3 hours now. He's quite the pilot. He had recently just soloed and was a skydiver and decided that he was going to go ahead and fly. And that was all the training that he needed. I want you to notice that he's got the prop going in the back. They do remember to put the seat belts on at the end. Obviously, they're ready to go. They're not wearing helmets or anything. And I will tell you that we know that the wind is basically a quartering crosswind. So he really wasn't quite set up for the way that the wind was blowing. And the lifts over, and we have a rollover. This is my favorite part. I'm sorry, I'm laughing with them. They hurry and they stand him up. The passenger in the back was going to skydive out of this. I want you to notice that he's still in the back, ready to go. And no worse for wear. But they reset the chute, and they get everything all ready, and ta-da, he's okay. Now, after they reset the chute, I want you to notice a couple of things, real good positive things. They're all going to be wearing helmets. So they have learned from their mistake. They did turn the cart into the wind. Now remember what Frederick and I had taught you before. Bubba and Boudreaux learned rule number 1, take off into the wind. Rule number 2, take off into the wind. Rule number 3, take off into that wind. Okay, there they go. They got it started. He put this helmet on. This time he's really going to have everything nice and steady. They will put the seatbelt on a little earlier this time. That's a positive thing. Okay, we'll just watch this tape unfold as we're chatting. There was something that was interesting that the pilot stated that it was too windy for skydiving, so we thought he'd try powered parachuting instead. So instead of jumping because it was too windy, now they're flying their powered parachutes. And here they go. The chute comes up. This time they're ready to go. One of the bad things, though, is if you notice the CG is way off. And if you notice, it's almost pointing straight at the ground, and it's hardly climbing at all. So as they're going up, it's not climbing at a very high rate of speed. And there's some pretty good clouds out there. I would call this a classic, over anxious to fly. Probably a good thing to go ahead and call it a day. Remember, we really do this for fun. And because we do it for fun, a lot of times we go out to the field and it just makes sense for us to say, maybe I'll wait for tomorrow when that great weather's here. We all love those beautiful sunsets, so there's gorgeous mornings when we take off. Now, as you can notice, they tried to get up. They got up to about 400 feet, and that was it. Couldn't go anymore. Full power the whole way. All of a sudden, the engine quit. So they turned into a glider. No big deal, especially shouldn't be a big deal for a skydiver coming down. But they had a little bit of a problem with the CG, and you'll get to see the landing here. As they're coming out, you'll notice that there wasn't much of a flare. Most of the students that we train that finish up their training with a power out landing usually say it's one of the softest landings they've ever had. Right here, the flare is about a quarter, and that's about it. And so the cart basically impacts. Not that bad, but you're going to notice that the wheel broke off, and it kind of ruined the whole day. Anyway, so sometimes it's better for us to say, you know what, I don't feel real good today. I think weather conditions aren't real great. I'll go fly tomorrow. All right, let's look at another one. I want you to watch this one here. It's a takeoff. It's a rollover. And on this one, we're going to learn about where to check the chute as it's kiting up. I always try to get everybody to look back here, check the tail, look where they're going, because that's what's going to hurt you. Look back here, check that tail. And the reason I say to check the tail is that's where your pigtail is going to happen. And you can also peripherally see all the lines. So if there's any line knots, any half hitches on the lines, or something in one of the lines, it's going to save you. So let's watch this one. Let's check it out. Okay, now you're going to notice this is again the part where someone is taking off. A couple of things that I want you to notice on this is that the individual, the pilot that's taking off, well, I can see him looking and checking his chute, but look on that right side of his chute. He has the classic pigtail. See how it's tied in a little knot? I think he's expecting it to go, and he keeps powering up, looking at it, waiting, and then kind of forgets to look forward and turns over. Eventually kills the motor, which is good. Gas is pouring out. Probably doesn't have a little anti-siphon look in the top of his tank. And here we go again. He's checking his chute, trying to give it gas. He looks left, looks right, looks back over there at the right. And right here is a great time to cut and forget about flying, because that pigtail will never come out. The interesting thing here is if you kind of watch everybody run over to help him, he will go ahead and they'll lift him up and get him out of there. But there's also a gas filling station right there. So potentially there's a lot of, I wonder if I should be taking off at this area. So there's a lot to learn here. No emergency takeoffs. If it's not right, stop, fix it, and you're done. All right. Now, so hopefully we've learned something from some of these episodes that we've had today. We'll be continuing this theme. We'll be talking about things like chutes that stall, about maybe misturning a chute, maybe not actually watching where we're going, landing in trees and wires and things. And that's what we're going to be analyzing. And one more little tidbit. If you do have one of these illustrious events, number one, we're not going to say who you are. Number two, we want to share so that we don't have anybody get hurt from this. The more knowledge that we have, the better we're going to be. So that concludes this segment. I'll see you on the next side.